Good evening, I'm Savannah Kelly. Welcome to APTN National News. United States President Donald Trump has renewed calls to acquire Greenland. Recently, he said the United States needs control over Greenland amidst rising security threats from Russia and China in the Arctic. Prime Minister Mark Carney has affirmed the importance of Arctic to NATO security. He did so in a meeting today with NATO Security General Mark Rutte. The Prime Minister also met with Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen on Tuesday. Frederiksen said Greenland is not for sale. It has been controlled by Denmark for approximately 3 centuries, becoming a district of Denmark in 1953. Inuit make up 89% of Greenland's population. Carney said Denmark and Canada will work together as NATO partners to protect the Arctic security.
The future of Greenland and Denmark are decided solely by the people of Denmark. In Greenland.
The International Indigenous Peoples Forum on Climate Change, or IIPFCC, claims Russian authorities searched the homes of at least 17 Indigenous leaders. They arrested some of them and accused all of participating in terrorism. One of them is IIPFCC co-chair Daria Yegoreva, who is Selkup, a group of Indigenous people into Siberia. She was arrested last December. Authorities allege she participated in a terrorist organization. Yegoreva will be detained for 2 months pending an investigation and may face 10 to 20 years in prison. IIPFCC says this is a targeted attack on Indigenous leaders who participate in United Nations agencies that advocate for Indigenous rights. A family member of a man who died at a shelter in downtown Whitehorse just over a year ago has launched a civil suit over his death. As Sarah Connors reports, it's the latest legal action connected to deaths at that shelter.
The stepdaughter of an Indigenous man who died at the Whitehorse Emergency Shelter is suing the Yukon government and the shelter's operator over his death. Nikita Sarinko-Bailey filed a statement of claim in the Supreme Court of Yukon last month. APTN previously spoke with Sarinko-Bailey about her stepfather, Leonard Capoblanc. The 56-year-old, who was a member of the Fort Nelson First Nation, fatally overdosed in a shower stall at the shelter in December of 2024. According to the lawsuit, Capoblanc entered the shower room several times the night of his death, which it argues should have alerted staff there was a heightened risk of overdose. The lawsuit alleges Capoblanc was left unattended in the shower room for about 40 minutes, despite an internal policy requiring staff to check on high-risk areas like bathrooms and shower stalls every 15 minutes. The claim also alleges no paramedics were on site the night of Capoblanc's death. Staff later found Capoblanc unresponsive, and he was pronounced dead shortly after paramedics arrived. The lawsuit argues Capoblanc's death was, quote, clearly foreseeable, and accuses the government and Connective of negligence in his death. The lawsuit is seeking punitive and monetary damages. Neither the government nor Connective have filed a statement of defense. This is the 4th lawsuit filed in recent years relating to shelter deaths, 2 of which were settled out of court last fall. Sarah Connors, APTN National News, Whitehorse.
A spokesperson for Connective said in an email they will not be commenting on any active litigation. Pimicikamak Chief David Munias held a news brief earlier today while on a site survey in his community. He visited the sewage and water plants today, which are both still down. Chief David Munias says the water issues in Pimicikamak are being assessed after a recent 4-day power outage left water and plumbing systems with severe damage. He says as many as 1,350 houses could be damaged. The power outage has also caused delays in getting children back to school after winter break. The school is closed due to a major pipe burst. Chief Munias says water lines in 14 portable classrooms, in his words, have been busted in most of them as well. Chief Munias says the community needs help with power and infrastructure.
Right now we need power to the sewage plant for sure, right? We've been asking for these infrastructures, are the water plants and also the sewage plants have been on life support. If that's the best way I can explain it. This power outage and also the cold really damaged and basically pulled the plug on all our stuff. And so they're basically killed our infrastructure.
A number of federal, provincial, and First Nation leaders are expected in the community on Wednesday. Winnipeg Police is in need of the public's help in locating a teenager who's been missing for more than 2 weeks. 16-year-old Haley Clearsky was reported missing on December 19th. She was last seen in the 500 block of Sherbrooke Street, north of Ellis Avenue in West End, Winnipeg. Police say Clearsky is known to frequent the West Broadway district and the William White area in the North End. Clearsky is 5'4" with a medium build and has long, straight brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a red sweatsuit and a black jacket and carrying a black backpack. If anyone knows where Haley Clearsky is, you are asked to contact police. A Christmas Eve tragedy has led to an arrest. Saskatchewan RCMP have charged a 37-year-old man in connection with the death of an infant. On December 24, 2025, Melfort RCMP responded to a report of an infant under 1 year old in medical distress at a residence. The infant was transported to hospital and died on December 28th. RCMP say the infant's injuries were deemed suspicious. No further details have been released. On January 3rd, an unnamed 37-year-old male was arrested and charged with second-degree murder in relation to the infant's death. RCMP say the accused and the infant were known to each other, but the relationship has not been disclosed. The accused made his first court appearance in Melfort Provincial Court on January 5th. The Peter Ballantine Cree Nation in northeastern Saskatchewan is asking for the public's help. A man who has been missing for nearly a month, and due to the cold weather, his family is concerned for his safety. According to Peter Ballantyne's leadership, 66-year-old Moise Siwap was last seen in Flin Flon, Manitoba on December 9th. Creighton RCMP say Siwap may have also been seen between December 15th and December 23rd in Flin Flon. During that time, he was wearing a blue and black checkered jacket and was last seen getting into a silver Ford Escape with a woman outside a large retail store along Highway 10. The Saskatchewan First Nations Emergency Management Search and Rescue Team is expected to assist in the coming days. Residents in Creighton and Flin Flon are asked to check sheds, outbuildings, and other structures for Siwap. If anyone knows where Moise Siwap is, please contact RCMP. The Ochawapace First Nation in southern Saskatchewan is imposing a new temporary emergency dog control bylaw. The decision comes after a 12-year-old boy was found deceased in the snow. RCMP are still unable to say if the death was related to a dog attack or a wild animal. On Saturday, December 20th at around 5 p.m., Saskatchewan RCMP say a 12-year-old boy left a home in the Ochawapace First Nation with the intention of walking to another home in the area. At 8 p.m., the boy's body was found several hundred meters from home. RCMP deemed the boy's death as non-suspicious, but the cause of death has yet to be determined pending autopsy results. RCMP urged residents to not seek vigilante action against other dogs in the community. And as of Monday, the Ochawapace leadership ordered all residents with dogs to keep them from roaming around the community. Any dog caught and not claimed within 24 hours will be considered surrendered. The Ochawapace says the decision is immediate and will be replaced by a permanent bylaw. A First Nation in northwestern Alberta is suing the Alberta government in response to the province's upcoming separation referendum, saying that it violates Treaty Number 8. The Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation filed the lawsuit in the Court of King's Bench in Edmonton on Monday. The suit claims the Alberta government, the Chief Electoral Officer, and the Attorney General of Canada all breached their legal and treaty obligations, and that First Nation consent must come first before consultation on referendum talks can go ahead. The lawsuit also alleges the province's Alberta Prosperity Project courted foreign interference by the U.S. and that Alberta conspired with separatists to create conditions for an unlawful petition. The Alberta government would not comment on the matter because it is now before the court. The First Nation plans to file an injunction this week to pause the petition process. The lawsuit has yet to be tested in court. We want to hear what you think about this story or any other story you see here tonight. Here's how to continue the conversation. If you have a story you want to share, send us an email to news@aptn.ca. Visit our website at aptnnews.ca to read and watch our latest stories. You can find us online on your favorite social media sites, including TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Follow APTN News to join the conversation and see our latest stories. We need to take a quick break. Coming up, a new program aims to get Inuit youth into the production side of film and television. Stay with us. Welcome back to APTN National News. The federal government has announced the signing of the Canada-Nunavut Agreement on Minority Language Education and Second Official Language Instruction for the 2024-25 to the 2027-28 period. Under the agreement, about $8.5 million will be invested in Nunavut to support French as a minority language and French as a second language. According to the 2021 census, just under 4% of Nunavummians speak both English and French. The programs will run from preschool through post-secondary education. There's a French language school in Nunavut's capital city. The investment will be supporting that as well as providing second official language instruction and programs across the territory. According to the government of Nunavut, they are also planning on financially supporting the initiative. The Inuit Broadcasting Corporation has announced the launch of a new program to get Inuit youth into the production side of film and television. The Tugulavut program is a partnership between IBC, the Canadian Northern Economic Development Agency, and the Canada Council for the Arts to support more Inuit storytellers, editors, technicians, and producers. The first year of this 3-year program has been funded with an investment of $410,000. This year, we'll see 20 youth taking part in 6 learning modules over 6 weeks. Applications are still being accepted by IBC. The program will focus on hands-on learning for the various jobs involved in behind-the-scenes production. Students will be expected to build their personal portfolios, including their own short film project.
We'll have like short film program there where they can they learn pre-production to post-production and production. I think that's the fastest and easiest way to learn how the production works is having to work on your own project.
So we're planning to have guest speakers from the industry, planning to involve as many people as we can from the industry to provide a hands-on approach and let people feel what it's really like to be on a television set.
One of the North's oldest and most well-respected hand games players died last month. As Sarah Connors tells us, the beloved stick gambler leaves behind a long legacy that won't be forgotten.
Wherever there was hand games, you could be sure to spot Amos Dick. Perhaps better known as Famous Amos, the beloved Casca elder from Ross River was a staple of the Yukon's hand game circuit, playing in tournaments across the territory and beyond. The legendary stick gambler played right up until the very end. He died last month.
So many people started playing hand games because of him. It's going to be missed, so much here, especially in our community, but all over the place,
Dick was likely in his 90s, though no one we spoke to could say for sure exactly how old he was. He told us in 2018 he'd been playing hand games for 75 years.
I say 1940, but 16 years old.
Beyond hand games, the old-timer was an expert hunter and worked as an outfitting guide for close to 30 years. Those who knew him say no one knew the land better than him.
And there's not one place in our Casca homeland that he has a footprint.
Dick was also a big believer in passing on traditional knowledge. He taught many young people how to skin hides and make drums, tools, and snowshoes.
He was a legend, and he brought a lot of pride within the youth to learn hand games and to really honor the traditional ways.
Those traditional ways stayed with him until his final days. While laying unresponsive in the hospital, drummers played cultural songs, ending with challenge songs.
The drums would be going. He'd get up. You wanted to get up. And stick Campbell.
His loved ones say his death is a big loss for the Yukon's hand games community. For her son, hand games just won't be the same without him.
That's the kind of person we've been living with, and it's going to be really missed.
But as long as the drums keep beating, famous Amos will always be remembered.
I'm getting old.
Sarah Connors, APTN National News, Whitehorse.
Thanks for that story, Sarah. After the break, we'll tell you about a new horror movie about a woman's fight with her inner demons and the real monster that haunts her. Stick around. Welcome back. Time now for our photo of the day. Just days before Christmas, the evening sky was lit up with the northern lights as they danced in full display over Churchill, Manitoba. Thanks, April, for sharing and for thinking of us. If you have an awesome photo, send your pictures to share@aptn.ca for the chance to be our next photo of the day. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Starting off on the East Coast, 1 degree for Charlottetown and St. John's. -10 in Nain and sunshine, -10 for Kuujjuaq as well. Quebec City, 0 degrees there, Montreal, -1. London, +1 there, North Bay, -1. Elliott Lake, -1, Thunder Bay, sunny and +2. Churchill, sunshine and -19, Norway House, -9. Winnipeg, -1 there, Dauphin, 0 degrees and sunny. Estevan, 1 degree there, Saskatoon, -7. Stony Rapids, sunny and -16, -5 for Buffalo Narrows. Sunny and -20 for Fort Chip and High Level. -3 for Red Deer, +1 in Medicine Hat. Vancouver, snowy, 4 degrees there, Canal, -2. Fort Nelson, sunny and -20, 0 degrees for Smithers. Watson Lake, -14, Mayo, -19 and sunny. Wati, -29 and sunshine there, Norman Wells, -30. Paulatuck, -31 and sunny, Colville Lake, chilly at -42. Baker Lake, -32 and sunny there, now yet, -14. 13 below for Clyde River and sunny, Iqaluit, -16. The popular post-apocalyptic TV series Fallout has just released the first few episodes of its second season. Joining the cast again, Dallas Goldtooth, also known as William Spirit Knifeman in Reservation Dogs, enters Fallout as Charles Whiteknife. The Fallout series, based on the video game franchise, is set in post-apocalyptic Los Angeles hundreds of years after a nuclear war. It follows a ghoul who was a pre-war Hollywood actor and a girl who grew up in a vault untouched by radiation. Dallas Goldtooth plays U.S. Marine Corporal Charles Whiteknife in the Fallout universe. Goldtooth is from Minnesota, and he is known for roles in Reservation Dogs, The Last Frontier, and Seeds. He appeared in Fallout Season 1 in pre-war flashbacks. Now he's back for multiple episodes in Season 2. Fallout Season 2 is expected to have a $153 million budget. It currently has high viewer and critic ratings.
And after 10 years of war, the U.S. government is broker than a joke. The cattle ranchers are in charge, Coop.
Oh, come on.
Unless the people do something about it.
I guess everything's a conspiracy, right? Come on, man, you sound like you're in a cult.
You're sitting here defending a system that's ready to set the world on fire, Cooper. Maybe you're the one in a cult.
A new horror movie starring Indigenous actors just wrapped up filming in Winnipeg. Based off of the director's lived experience with intergenerational trauma, it follows one woman's fight with her inner demons and the real monster that haunts her. Sav Jonesa brings us the sneak peek of Ancestral Beasts.
Main character Elise is on her way to confront intergenerational trauma and the monster that it takes form in this scene of upcoming feature film Ancestral Beasts. Red River Métis director and producer Tim Riedel wrote the story based on his experience as the son of a 60s scoop survivor struggling with mental illness.
This film's theme is the curses that we inherit are not our fault, but what we let them become is our responsibility. And I hope people who see the film leave thinking about how that theme has existed in their own individual lives.
Co-leading the film are The Order's Morgan Holstrom and Little Bird's Darla Contois. It follows Holstrom's character, a Red River Métis woman who, after a mental breakdown, tries to heal her trauma by journeying back to her ancestral home, only for a demon to haunt her and threaten her loved ones. Riedel says the demon is an allegory for severe mental illness. He hopes the film reminds viewers to be compassionate to those struggling with disorders like borderline personality.
It's not easy for people to navigate these complex institutions and systems when they're suffering from a severe mental health disorder, yet they need the help the most. So that's why it's important to tell the story in a way that people will pay attention to.
The film's cast is almost entirely Indigenous and was shot in Winnipeg, the homeland of the Red River Métis. Riedel says the location was non-negotiable.
Living out east now, it's more inconvenient for me to be away for a long time from my wife and my children and whatnot. But whenever I'm here on these lands, I'm home, and so I couldn't think of telling a story anywhere else but here.
A turning point in his career comprised mostly of documentaries. Ancestral Beasts is Riedel's first horror flick, but his innate desire to bring truth to his work persisted. Riedel consulted elders, cultural advisors, and Indigenous psychologists during the film's development so that the story could be told in a respectful way.
To me, it doesn't seem much different from my documentary work, except for instead of me turning the lens on people from cultures and communities outside of my own, I'm turning the lens inward on myself and my community.
Ancestral Beasts just finished shooting and is headed into post-production. A release date has yet to be announced, but Riedel says the film will travel to remote Indigenous communities so they can get the first look or scare. Sav Jonza, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
That's all the time we have for your APTN National News this Tuesday. For more Indigenous stories, visit our website at aptnnews.ca. I'm Savannah Kelly, and I'll be back here tomorrow afternoon with your first look at the day's news. Marcy Miigwech, thank you for joining us. Have a great night.